What's up, everybody? It is True Sage. Despite popular belief, it actually is pronounced True Sage. Every JoJo Bizarre Adventure stand explains 24 minutes. It's not my first time necessarily reacting to all JoJo stands. The last time I reacted to all JoJo stands, it was less of each stand and more of each type of stands. This is an actual video explaining each stand in JoJo's. I did have a little JoJo series where I was reacting to like some of the most terrifying stands, but that was just a guy kind of explaining why this stance is so terrifying. But this is just the general conception of all stands. I love JoJo's power system. I think it's very unique and also kind of funny too. Also, I think one of my favorite things about the JoJo's power system is the actual name of the abilities. Like most ability names is actually some pretty simple shit, but some of these stand names get to be pretty bizarre. You should see what I just did there. I want to make some guys time. Shoot the subscribe button. After that, we get straight to the video.
Dio has an exceptionally strong close-range combat style. Its manifestation range is approximately 10 meters, and although it needs to be in close distance to inflict damage, its overwhelming physical power and nearly unstoppable control over time easily makes it one of the most dangerous stands in the entire franchise. Its stand
I wouldn't say that. I've heard more dangerous stands.
Is Muda, repeated over and over, which just means useless in English. It is named after the tarot card known as the World, which represents an ending to a cycle of life before a next big cycle, and also meaning there is success to come. The World possesses phenomenal strength, has incredible senses and precision, and is insanely fast. The World's main ability is to stop time, allowing only itself, Dio, and anyone with the same power to act within the duration of stop time. Dio is
about JoJo was able
to
fucking move through it,
as it is seen he
can also stop time too
without being fatigued. While time is stopped, Dio is able to move his own body and any other object he touches, allowing him to strike defenseless enemies or move to a better position. All force applied by Dio during the time stop continues after time resumes, where it is seen that if he throws an object, for instance, it will move momentarily but come to a halt, then it regains its initial momentum once time starts moving again. One major flaw to this stand is that Dio is only able to stop time for a certain duration before time resumes. However, the more he used this ability, the duration of which he was seen that if he throws an object, for instance, it will move momentarily but come to a halt, then it regains its initial momentum once time starts moving again. One major flaw
regardless,
to
it still is
that
a good
Dio is only
stand
able to
regardless
stop
of
time for a
it's
certain
not the most
duration
powerful.
before time resumes. However, the more he used this ability, the duration of which he was able to stop time grew, but it was still only able to be stopped for at most 9 seconds before his inevitable death. With that being
9
said,
seconds of time stop is still pretty good. Don't fake now.
Ability could have continued to get even longer, meaning if he was never killed, he might have been able to stop time for multiple minutes, hours, days, or maybe even eternity. Star Platinum, belonging to Jotaro,
is Star Platinum more powerful than the World, though? That's the question.
Usually pretty silent, except for when it cries "Order" loudly and repeatedly in battle. It has an interest in self-preservation, as it repeatedly saves Jotaro from dying multiple times throughout the series. Star Platinum is named after the tarot card known as the Star, which symbolizes optimism, discernment, and hope. Like the World, it has a close-range combat style, with its basic reach only being 2 meters from Jotaro's body, but it has incredible strength, speed, and precision. It is easily one of the most powerful stands featured in the series, and that is especially the case after it gains the ability to stop time, which awakened during his final battle with Dio. When it is activated, time stops for a brief moment, and he is able to do everything Dio was able to during the stop time. Unlike Dio,
it's like they were the
he's
same
unable
stand.
to use this ability consecutively, and he requires a few seconds in between each use at least. Back in Jotaro's prime, the ability lasted 5 seconds, but decreased over time due to neglect. 10 years after its initial use, Jotaro is only able to stop time for half a second, but eventually extends it to 1 to 2 seconds throughout the later half of Diamond is Unbreakable. And by the end of Stone Ocean, we see he is able to bring the duration back up to 5 seconds. Some other abilities that Star Platinum has is the Ora Ora Rush, which is its primary method.
We're just punching
combat,
people,
throwing extremely fast and precise, powerful
you're just beating the crap out of them. That's
what
that is.
Destroy objects. There is also Star Finger, which isn't used much later on in the franchise.
Like, I've never seen Star Finger
its
before.
Middle and index finger to a length of about 1 to 2 meters, which can be used as a sneak attack and stab opponents from afar. Even though Star Platinum has
that's the Escanor technique he just hit him with.
The ability to stop time in the World, its other abilities and especially physical power is what gave it the edge to defeat Dio, as well as the surprise factor that Jotaro was even able to use this ability, completely throwing Dio off. Hermit Purple, belonging to
remember how I said, like, I edit mid-video? I also was not joking about that shit. Let's go ahead and enhance, like, the fucking... Go ahead and, like, enhance this shit. I ain't gonna lie again.
surprise factor that Jotaro was even able to use this ability, completely throwing Dio off. Hermit Purple, belonging to Joseph Joestar, was awakened pretty late into Joseph's life at the age of 68. Unlike the last two stands I mentioned, it is not a humanoid one, but instead manifests itself as thorn-covered vines that spawn from Joseph's hands. The vines are strong enough to support his own weight and long enough to bind someone completely. It is named after the tarot card known as the Hermit, symbolizing introspection and contemplation. This stand is relatively weak, but its main ability is able to display any information he wishes to see. We see this in Stardust Crusaders, where he destroys a camera, and once it is broken, it reveals what Dio is doing at that current moment in time. This ability also is able to produce live psychic videos on a television, where it once displayed random TV channels in rapid succession to formulate a coherent sentence. Hermit Purple's information is flawed, but gets more effective the closer he gets to its target. Joseph is also able to use the ripple through Hermit Purple as an extension of his body, where he can use this ability to attack and also wrap his whole body with the vines like a cloak with high voltage wires. Although this stand is one of the weakest in the franchise, it was used in some pretty creative ways and without a doubt was useful overall. Crazy Diamond,
yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a crazy stand. Definitely like one of the weaker ones, but I mean, it has its uses. Definitely it's not better than the Star Platinum. Matter of fact, that may be one of the lowest ones you may see on this list.
Geshikata is a relatively strong close-range stand. It is named after the song Shine On You, Crazy Diamond by Pink Floyd. This stand doesn't have much of a personality apart from seeming angry during its fights and shouting "Dorarara" during battle. What really makes this stand shine isn't its physical power though, but instead its ability to restore objects or organisms through touch. It can repair damage, heal injuries, and even revert complex structures to their raw components.
Low-key, I think I'd rather have Crazy Diamond before I have Star Platinum.
He once did this with a villain and a rock. If this ability is used while Josuke is in a bad mood, the target may become warped due to improper restoration. Crazy Diamond cannot heal Josuke himself, cure illnesses, or restore life to dead organisms. At the time a diamond is unbreakable, Crazy Diamond was pretty unique compared to the main character's abilities from Stardust Crusaders, and this part is where the power system started getting more and more creative and interesting in my opinion. Killer Queen, belonging to Yoshikage Kira, was seemingly nearly impossible to beat due to the combination of its strength and how the user, Kira, was able to keep his identity a secret. It has a powerful close-range combat style, and it is named after the song by the band Queen. Although its physical strength and speed isn't that powerful, it still is pretty strong, but what really makes this stand so formidable is the abilities it possesses. Killer Queen's powers revolve around setting up different types of bombs that can annihilate Kira's enemies in one blast, where he was originally able to deploy 2 initial bombs, then later on eventually a third, with all different strengths, giving him many options for which he can attack. His main ability, Bomb Transmutation, can charge any object or living beings as a bomb just by touching it. When someone is blown up from this ability, it completely
I still would take
body,
Crazy Diamond, but that's still pretty good.
Belongings that they were carrying from existence. Kira can control the strength of these explosions, as well as what part of a victim's body are vaporized.
Let's blow up. That's what that is.
Transmutation, where Kira was able to use Stray Cat's air bubbles to his advantage, where he can attach a bomb to them, which creates floating air bubbles that Kira can send towards his enemies without them even noticing it, directly blowing them up. Killer Queen's secondary bomb is called Sheer Heart Attack, which is also named after a Queen song, and it is a long-range autonomous stand, which allows Kira to be far away and have this bomb do the work for him. It is basically indestructible, and it targets heat, blowing up when it gets close enough to the warmest object with a blast size equivalent to how hot it is. This means it follows body heat, but the obvious flaw to this ability is the autonomous nature. The final ability that Killer Queen possesses is Bites the Dust, yet again being named after a Queen song, and this ability is easy.
Love Queen! I can't even get mad at him for that.
He receives this power after the arrow pierces him for a second time, and it was born from Kira's desire to prevent anyone from knowing his true identity. It is debated by many fans if this is a Requiem stand or not, but in my opinion,
wait a minute, question. Is Kira supposed to be like a reference to Death Note? Because like he didn't want people to know his identity, but his name is Kira. Is that a coincidence or not?
Requiem ability, and we might not have even been able to see the full extent of Kira's Requiem stand, as he was defeated shortly after getting this ability. Anyways, this bomb appears as a miniature version of Killer Queen, hiding inside whoever it is planted in, and it acts independently. Kira plants this ability in Hayato, and when he tries telling people who Kira truly is, the bomb is triggered, killing whoever he tells, which then creates a time loop, bringing Hayato back about an hour before the detonation happened. Kira is not not aware when this ability is activated and is also not aware when a time loop occurs. The only person who is aware of this information is the person who harbors Bites the Dust, and said person is also not allowed to be killed or harmed, as Bites the Dust will protect them. The only way for someone to win against this ability is by killing Kira directly, or forcing him to withdraw it from the person it is harboring itself in. And if this happens, all the timelines created using Bites the Dust are erased. King Crimson,
Okay, not to step back. I think I'd probably rather have that stand than Crazy Diamond.
Stand that can manipulate time belonging to Diavolo, and partially his alter ego, Doppio. It is a long-range stand type and is named after the British band King Crimson. This stand embodies Diavolo's personality, and he is even able to frequently speak through it. King Crimson is one of the most impressive stands featured in this series, and it is very physically strong and fast, but also possesses abilities of being able to erase time and also even predict the future, being nearly impossible to beat in battle.
Now, I've seen some of his stand, I reacted to this fight. I know it's good.
Time Erasure is King Crimson's signature ability, which allows Diavolo to erase a given frame of time, starting from the instant the ability is activated and lasting up to around 10 seconds. During this period of erased time, only Diavolo remains fully conscious and is able to readjust his actions. When time resumes, everyone else is unable to experience anything that happened during the erased time and will continue acting as they were before, often not even knowing time has been erased. Epitaph, which is named after a song by the band King Crimson, is a substand ability which allows Diavolo and Doppio to predict any incoming threat, making sneak attacks basically ineffective against them. This ability allows them to see several tens of seconds into the future and project it as an image inside of their hair.
Alright, that's it. I want King Crimson. Fuck every other stand. I got my stand, guys. It's King Crimson.
Thought going into deciphering the visions. Otherwise, this ability is pretty much useless. Whatever prediction that Epitaph shows is 100% fated to occur, only capable of being changed by stand abilities that affect fate, like Requiem stands and King Crimson's main ability. Gold Experience, named after the Prince song, which belongs to
now
Giorno
we all know
Giovanni.
that Giorno is one of the most powerful in the series, but would I rather have her stand before King Crimson? That's a question that we're finna find out.
Is a close range stand type, but it is not very physically strong. Like Giorno's father, Dio, this stand's battle cry is Muda, repeated over and over again while he is attacking an enemy. Although this stand doesn't have much physical strength, it really shines thanks to the abilities it possesses. Life Giver is the ability to generate a seemingly endless amount of life energy and provide that life energy into anything its fist touches. Goal Experience can use this ability to transform objects into living organisms of Giorno's choosing, whether that be an animal or a plant, and the life forms can persist for a long time, and even at a significant distance away from Giorno. It can also cancel this effect whenever it wants, being able to return an object to its original state. When Giorno uses this power to create an animal, he has no control over the creature, as it has its own life and autonomy, so he has to make sure he uses this ability in strategic ways to create an animal that will fit the scenario he is in. There are no stands in JoJo's that can bring the dead back to life, but Gold Experience can get pretty close to this idea.
I may be switching teams.
Life energy into a corpse to temporarily reanimate it. This reanimated corpse will have all the memories and personality traits from when the person was alive, and even retain their stand if they were a stand user. With that being said, the reanimated person lacks bodily functions such as breathing, a heartbeat, or the ability to feel pain. Gold Experience is already a pretty unique stand, but what makes it even more unique is when it evolves into Gold Experience Requiem, which is debatably the strongest stand in all of JoJo's, and even one of the strongest forces in all of fiction. After Giorno is stabbed by the arrow during his final battle with Diavolo, this Requiem stand was created from the intense desire Giorno had to defeat King Crimson and exact revenge on Diavolo. It has an incredible increase in speed and physical power compared to its previous form, and now has the power to revert anything to zero, effectively undoing any actions from its opponent, nullifying them and preventing them from becoming real. It also has the ability to send their opponent through a death loop after they are killed by Gold Experience Requiem. They will continuously experience death, repeatedly returning to zero, and through this ability, a new reality is created each and every time a death loop occurs. Unfortunately,
that's it, guys. I'm a bandwagon. Looks like I'm rocking with Golden Experience. No, you can't beat this, man. You can't beat this. Yeah, I knew about the death loop, but like the other things, yeah, no, that's not beating this, guys.
This is the last Requiem stand we will see in this series, which is a shame, as I feel like there was so much potential with the idea of Requiem stands. Stone Free, belonging to Jolene Cujo, is a unique
it ain't gonna be better than Golden
type and
Experience.
is named after the Jimi Hendrix song. Like her father, Jotaro, she also cries out Ora repeatedly in battle. This stand focuses on speed, precision, and power, but the string ability it possesses is what makes it stand out, giving Jolene a wide variety of actions in battle. This ability is known as string decomposition, where Jolene is able to unravel her body into string, typically beginning with her hands, and she can freely manipulate it. The string is invisible to non-stand users, and it is very sharp, being able to slice through flesh when pulled violently enough. With that being said, the string itself is not particularly strong, and may even snap if strained too much, although Jolene can create a stronger rope out of several strings wrapped together. She can also unravel about 70% of her body harmlessly, as well as quickly being able to rewind it, which allows her to be very flexible. She may also cut her string for a further variety of actions, however, this does harm her. If she unravels the maximum amount she is able to, it is about 24 meters long overall. Stone-free string manipulation is exceptionally versatile, and Jolene is even able to eavesdrop with it, using sound vibrations through her string like a
that's
tin
dope.
can
I ain't
telephone,
gonna
and she
lie.
can
That's
also
dope.
converse through using this method. Jolene can also create nets, tie people up, stitch wounds, and even swing from one place to another. Towards the end of Stone Ocean, we also see Jolene use her strings to create a Mobius strip, which allows her to mesh her body together when fighting against Father Pucci's evolved stand, Sea Moon. Whitesnake, the first of three stands that belongs to
It's still cool.
Pucci, is named after the English rock band, and it is a long-distance sentient stand type. It is able to move with its own sense of self-awareness, and often portrays a cold and hateful personality. One of the abilities Whitesnake possesses is being able to create illusions. It is shown doing this a few times in the series, the first time where it produced an acid, and when it was dissolved, will put its targets in a delusional dream state. Another way it creates illusions is when it was able to disguise itself as another person, at one point impersonating Weather Report. The primary ability that Whitesnake has is its disc creation, where it is able to extract a person's psyche out of their bodies in the form of a CD disc. For Whitesnake to be able to do this, it first has to touch its victim and take the time to physically extract this disc from them. There are two main types of discs, one where it contains a person's memory, and if taken from them, they will lose all consciousness and may even die. The other type is a stand disc, which will extract their stand ability from them if they are a stand user.
So he can just take somebody's stand, bro?
Sea Moon, named after the song by the band known as Wings, is the result of a fusion between Pucci and the Green Baby, granting Pucci the power to manipulate gravity and turn things and people inside out. Sea Moon is remote controlled by Pucci, and the closer he is to it, the better control he has over it. Gravity is affected within a 3-kilometer radius around Pucci, repelling objects and people away from him, as if they are falling off of a giant cliff, and will return to normal once they are out of his radius. Wherever he is standing is how gravity is affected, so if he stands vertically on a wall, gravity then shifts accordingly. The third and final evolution of Pucci's stand, known as Made in Heaven, named after both the Freddie Mercury song and Queen album, as well as the song Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin, is considered by Dio to be the ultimate stand and the key to achieve heaven. It is an incredibly powerful, close-range, time-controlling stand,
I didn't react
and
to
although
video
its
about
physical
this.
abilities are not very remarkable, its control over time grants it an overwhelming speed advantage and is able to counter abilities that function with a time limit, such as Star Platinum's Time Stop. The main ability of this stand is the time acceleration, where the flow of time continuously gets faster and faster, affecting the entire universe, and when this ability is completed, the entire universe gets reset, bringing about a new one where every organism is brought into the new world, positioned exactly where they should be, according to whatever date Pucci chooses. Anyone that is killed in the previous universe will cease to exist in the new one, being replaced by a similar substitute, with their souls and personalities erased and appearing as completely different people. Every person in this new universe
because
knows
isn't
what happened to them in the
didn't
lab.
Made in Heaven, again, I found out that this wasn't canon, but didn't after Made in Heaven, Dio appeared and he was Dio over heaven and some shit like that? Isn't that what started it?
And what will happen, in which they will be able to know their fate in this new universe, but they will not be able to change the course of their fate. Pucci's goal is to make humanity feel at peace with their destiny through this. When Pucci is killed, time is rapidly accelerated yet again to a new universe, where the consequences of the previous one are negated.
Want restaurant quality meals that actually support your wellness goals? Factor's got you covered.
A sign. Booking.com. The family must depart.
Ballbreaker, named after the AC/DC song and album, is a close-range stand type belonging to Gyro Zeppeli. It is a visualization of spin energy produced by the user's steel balls. Little is known about this stand's full capabilities, as it only appeared once, but it can be assumed that since it developed from the Golden Spin, Ballbreaker is incredibly powerful. It embodies the vast quantity of energy collected by a steel ball when thrown with Golden Spin. The only specific power Ballbreaker has shown is to induce dramatic biological aging in a target. When used on a human being, within seconds they age greatly, in which their
Oh,
stand will
shit.
also be affected by the aging. Although there is little known about this incredibly unique stand, I think it was still worth mentioning since Gyro is such a legend. Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap,
Alright,
which is
well,
also
now hold
named
on,
after
talk
an
about-
AC/DC song and album, is frequently shorted to D4C and is the stand of Funny Valentine. D4C is among the most powerful stands in the series. It is a close-range stand with above average strength and speed, but it really shines with its ability to manipulate parallel worlds and dimensions, being able to coexist all at the same time and in the same place, allowing Valentine
Oh,
to
shit,
visit
that
these
sounds pretty
parallel
cool.
worlds and interact with them. He is able to travel by being closed between two objects, and he is even able to pull other people or items to other dimensions by forcing them between two objects. With that being said, no two versions of the same person or thing can coexist in the same dimension, so one of them will have to go back into their own, and if they don't and they get too close to one another, both will be obliterated, potentially causing an explosive reaction. This rule does not apply to Valentine himself, and if Valentine is injured, he can hop into another dimension and transfer his stand to this world's Valentine, where said Valentine will acquire the memories of the previous one and become the root
Am
Valentine.
I tripping?
But
This just looked like fucking Sail. Like, all I saw was just Sail. Also, this may be the second stand I want. It's
previous
this one.
and become the root Valentine. But his consciousness remains different from that of the previous owner. He can also summon any number of alternate selves to a target dimension in order to outnumber his opponents. With that being said, they do not have D4Cs of their own, where only the root Valentine is able to possess this ability. Love Train is the evolved form of D4C given to Valentine by the Saints Corps. While this ability is active, Valentine becomes effectively invincible, hiding within a pocket dimension.
Yeah,
All
that's gonna
misfortune
be the
that
second
comes his
stand,
way
bro.
Is able to be redirected,
I got this stand
leaving
on-
only good
on
fortune.
standby.
D4C can make even its most insignificant attacks fatal, where any wound he inflicts will travel to somewhere else in the body until it reaches a vital spot, then it does damage. The only known power able to break through this ability is the Golden Spin. Tusk, named after the Fleetwood Mac song and album, belongs to Johnny
What's
Joestar.
Notorious
Tusk
B.I.G.?
takes various
That's what I'm
forms
waiting
or
for.
acts, and is able to switch between its various acts once they are unlocked. Tusk Act 1 possesses sentience separate from Johnny, and it decides to independently help him. It is overall quite weak, but it grants Johnny the ability to imbue his finger and toenails with the spin, shooting them with immense cutting power,
Fingers and
capable of
toenails, bitch,
slicing
what?
through people and objects. Tusk Act 2 has enhanced destructive power and new properties to its nail bullets. The power in this
This nigga
act
shooting
is
bullets
so
with his
strong that
fingernails? I didn't
fingernails
seen
can
it
now
all.
blast
I
away
didn't seen
a
it
large
all.
zone on impact. With that being said, his nails grow back slower than before, so Johnny must use them strategically or he will run out of ammunition. Tusk Act 3 is the second evolution of Tusk, unlocked after Johnny witnesses Jesus counseling him and finds a renewed resolve in life. Having the same strengths and limitations that Act 2 has, he now also has the spatial wormhole ability, where Johnny can now shoot himself with a fingernail, which can suck his body into the hole it creates. This hole is infinite and creates a wormhole through space.
See,
It
this,
allows him
I'm sorry to cut you off right there, man. This is the type of shit I'm talking about with JoJo's, about like how creative their abilities are. Because, friendly reminder, we're talking about fingernails right now. Fingernails is doing this shit, bro. This is crazy.
to move the hole while his body is inside, and he can quickly reposition himself, being able to attack from unexpected angles. Tusk Act 4, the final evolution of Tusk, derives from the use of the Golden Spin, which requires Johnny to make his horse run in its natural state. By doing so, the horse produces rotational energy in the form of the Golden Rectangle, and by combining it with Tusk, Johnny is able to release infinite rotational energy. This makes Tusk Act 4 one of the most powerful stands in the series due to the infinite energy behind it, but it is incredibly difficult to deploy as a trade-off. The energy wielded and embodied by Act 4 is infinite, allowing a wide array of otherwise impossible feats. It is able to break through Love Train's dimensional barrier and enter the space in which Valentine hides. It also defies the laws of gravity, and the damage caused by the rotation is probably infinite as well. If Act 4 touches someone, it imbues the target with an infinite spinning motion, where not only body parts spin, but even individual cells, greatly distorting the shape of the victim. Eventually,
Okay, this is
targets are
actually in the
disintegrated
same
by the
stand. This may be
rotation
like
and
top
apparently
5.
sent to another dimension.
Those eyes, that nose, your hair, your nails.
Wonder of You is the stand of
Whoa,
Toru.
now I know about this motherfucker right here. I think Wonder of You is the coolest stand in the verse. Like, it may not be my personal favorite, because I'm going with Golden Experience, but this one is one of the coolest ones in the verse. I'll be honest. It's like mystery, like this mysterious aura around it just makes it so much more cooler.
And it is named after the songs The Wonder of You by Elvis Presley and I Wonder You by Prince. It is a sentient stand that is pretty expressive and has a calm but also threatening demeanor. Araki has confirmed that Wonder of You is the strongest antagonistic stand in the entire franchise, and many fans debate on whether it is even stronger than Gold Experience Requiem. Although it is
I
an
don't
automatic
think so,
stand,
but it's
Toru
pretty
seems
cool.
to have a limited ability to control Wonder of You directly, allowing him to be in two places at once. The specific stat rankings on this stand are not known, but it has used its cane as a defensive tool. It also is able to teleport at will and can move rapidly within small areas by gliding within flat reflective surfaces. Wonder of U's main ability revolves around the concept of calamity, bringing impending doom to anyone pursuing Toru or the stand itself. Pursuit doesn't just mean physically either, as even the intention to pursue him will cause the stand to activate. With that being said, the intention of pursuit only activates the ability if it is clearly stated. The exact form that calamity takes varies, but involves redirecting aspects of the environment towards the target in a harmful manner. If a pursuer comes into contact with any object that is being influenced by calamity, it will cause a considerable amount of damage. Wonder of You also seems to be able to have an effect on nearby people and influence their actions if there is a lack of objects around for the stand to control. The only way to stop this ability from targeting an individual is if they die or if they lose the will to pursue.
Yeah, I was about to say, or if they just flat out just forget about him and just completely just choose not to. But again, you know, if you have to get Wonder of You, you're probably fucked. Which, I mean, I still would think Golden Experience is more powerful, but from a passive standpoint, Wonder of You is pretty busted. Because once you even just think about trying to come get me, it's over with.
Powerful that even after Toru's death, Wonder of You can still function due to the fact that it represents calamity itself. It is theorized that it was born from some type of calamity energy, making it the second stand to be made out of a supernatural force behind Ballbreaker. This is one of the most unique stands in the franchise, and in my opinion, one of the best design-wise too.
Yes,
Soft
it's
and Wet,
cool.
named after the Prince song, is the
Yeah, I
stand
know
of
about
Josuke
Soft and Wet. I did a whole video about this too. This whole freaky ass
stand. Over
stand.
again, like many other members of the Joestar family. Soft and Wet is a close-range stand with enhanced strength, although the extent of the damage it can inflict is limited. It generates star-embedded floating bubbles that Josuke can control, allowing him to send them where they are needed. He sometimes uses these bubbles to envelop himself and others, to lift them in the air, or to reach vantage points. Soft and Wet's signature ability is to steal something and take it for itself, and said objects stay in the bubble until it bursts, but it is not known the exact quantity or type of objects he is able to steal, nor how long he may keep them. There is also the first bomb bubble ability, and when a bubble is popped, it will cause damage at close range. Soft and Wet Go Beyond is a more superior power that Josuke ends up getting later on, where he is able to create uncontrollable and impossible to aim bubbles moving at incredibly high speeds, and they surpass the boundaries of ordinary physics. These bubbles are able to pass through any barrier, and they are not subject to the effects of calamity, so their movement towards Wonder of You does not trigger its ability. The high speed spinning, as well as the great explosive force that these bubbles have, enables them to be used as devastating projectiles, and upon contact, instantly erode the body part that they touch. Due to the nature of this ability, it was able to overcome Wonder of You's calamity and defeat Toru. November Rain, the final stand I will discuss in this video, belongs to JoJo Joestar. There's not yet much known about this stand, as the JoJo lands is still pretty on in its story, so there will definitely be a lot more to say about this stand in the future, but for now, I will discuss the information we do know. It is named after the Guns N' Roses song, and it has the ability to summon rain showers that have a selective crushing weight. When the raindrops come into contact with a person, their sheer weight causes them to penetrate the victim's skin, potentially leading to the complete crushing of a human being. The duration of this effect remains unclear, as victims have been observed to revert back to their normal state once the stand disappears. November Rain can also shoot rain directly in front of it towards a target, making it not limited to raining vertically down. The shooting range is about 3 meters in diameter and 4 meters in height, not being able to produce any rain beyond that range. With that being said, that is pretty much it for this video.
Listen, man, if I had to pick a stand, I'm going with Golden Experience, or I think Wonder of You is the coolest stance, if I'm being honest with you. Now, I'm going to go with Golden Experience, but I do think Wonder of You is the, like, objectively the coolest stance in the series, though. Design-wise, it is pretty cool. Ability-wise, pretty cool. And the fact it's a sentient stand makes it really cool as well. I think the weakest stand here is probably Hermit Purple. May be the weakest stand here, honestly. I knew that the very moment he covered it was probably going to be at the bottom of the list, but hey. Hey, let me know in the comment section down below, though. What do you think is the coolest stance in the series? And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button. Just help me, but it helps you too. YCC content similar to this one. You guys did subscribe me, I appreciate it a lot. If you guys didn't, I guess you'll part ways. Either way, God almighty to keep it easy. I'm gone. Peace.
That's all it is, man. Leap of faith.